Hello YouTube. Well, as you can tell, it's the 3rd of August. It's time to start thinking about the fall garden, if we're going to have one or not. I'm still kind of torn between it. As you can tell with this garden, everything is, well, looking kind of weedy right now. We both went to every kind of conference you can think of. We went to math conferences, we went to Christmas light conferences, a couple other meetings of what my wife and I do for a living. And as you can see in the garden, we've neglected it. So what we're going to do is, I'll give you an overview of it once I get done this afternoon, of everything that's been going on with it. Everything's produced really good this year. I think a lot of it has to do with the drip irrigation we added this year. Instead of overhead watering and wasting all the water, we use drip irrigation with T-tape, as they call it. Seemed to make a big difference. We also had a little bit more rain than normal here in East Texas at the beginning of the season, which caused some problems, but also caused a bunch of plants to take off and thrive really good. Got the rows on the right, 2 rows of speckled butter beans, and 2 rows on the left next to the tomatoes are 2 rows of pink-eyed purple hull peas. I got out here last night and started pulling up the butter beans. Just pull them up and pick them. No reason to leave them there. I think what we're going to do is just till everything in, be fertilizing the ground at the same time, and replant some different varieties of beans and stuff. We hadn't made a decision on that yet. Be pulling most of the tomatoes. Maybe I might leave the last 3 plants down on this end. Tomatoes are pretty much done. We didn't have a real good tomato crop this year. I'm thinking it's probably because we got lucky. We planted tomatoes in that same exact row, same exact kind of tomatoes for about 3 years now. So I know this is a big no-no. I got away with it, but I didn't get away with it this year. So most of the tomatoes are going to come up. We'll be planting them probably on one of the pea or bean rows. Scoot them over and get them in a whole nother section of dirt. But for right now, while it's cool over here and the sun hadn't come out and knocked it up to a 90 or 100 degrees, we'll get out there and take care of these peas and beans. Well, I told you it's going to look a little different next time you saw it, so here we are. Day late, and the tractor gas tank empty. Otherwise it'd look a little bit cleaner than that. So we got to go back over and till it a little bit more. But over here on the right we've got the cucumbers and cantaloupes. Starting from the left we have cucumber, 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 cantaloupe, and then the last one down on the end is the Israeli melon. There's one little lone cantaloupe melon hanging on the vine there. The last storm that came through here about a week or 2 ago, every one of these cages was blown completely and totally over, and most of the roots were ripped out of the ground. As you can tell on the cantaloupe plants, I think I may have one in each cage still alive. Maybe. I'm not real sure about that even. The cucumbers, they somehow made it. I don't know how, because they were completely ripped out of the ground also. But put the roots back in the ground, put a bunch of dirt back over them, said a little prayer over each one, and they seem to be coming on. We're picking cucumbers every day. Down on the very end, right next to the cucumbers, we still got some watermelons. That's why we didn't till all this up. And believe it or not, there's, I think, 3 or 4 hiding in the weeds over there. And we actually had to throw a couple of them away. They got a little bit overripe with all the rain sitting on the ground. They were completely and totally rotted out on the bottom. We pretty much pulled up everything on this side of the garden: squash, zucchini, eggplant. We were done squashing for the year. Even I got a little bit tired of squash after a while. But so we still had bell peppers growing, jalapenos next to them, Tabasco peppers are starting to turn orange and red, so they're pretty close to getting picked. Actually, I probably need to come out here and pick a bunch of them. And if anybody wants any, I can't seem to give this away. It's a variation of a Peter pepper. They grow up. They come out green, about 3 inches long. Then they turn kind of brown, and then they go fire red. I haven't tried, but I've tried the green one. They're pretty good. Mighty hot. But I'm not about to tempt the red one. Then we have banana peppers. Still coming along real good. Here we have our last 2 grape tomato plants. I'm sorry, one is grape tomato, one is cherry tomato. They're going to last until this weekend. They're just about picked off. There's no blooms on either one of them, but they still got some green tomatoes, so we're still going to get a little bit. And here we have our okra row. Nice, beautiful okra row. I don't know if you can tell in the picture. Let me help center a little bit more. Don't you know in every crowd there's got to be one smart one, or smart something? That thing is about 7 foot tall. I picked the last okra I could reach from my tippy toes about 3 days ago. There's some on it now. I'm going to have to go get a ladder. But hey, you do what you got to do. I guess he wanted to be special and stand out amongst the crowd, which he most definitely stands out amongst the crowd, that's for sure. And where the butter beans and purple hull peas used to be, all tilled up. Hopefully by this weekend we'll get it tilled up a little bit more, and we're going to plant something else. We're going to plant some pole beans and see how they do in East Texas. I've never known anyone over here in East Texas to plant any kind of pole bean. So we're going to give it a shot, see what happens. Got a couple different kinds of pole beans, climbing beans, and climbing lima beans. Also going to plant some what they call 8-ball zucchini. It's about the size of an 8-ball. And at this point in time, we're trying to get crops or plants that mature pretty quick. Anywhere from like 60 days, 70 days, or below. So I'm not sure. I think our first frost is scheduled for around November, but hey, you never can tell with East Texas. Last year I was putting Christmas lights on the house and shorts and t-shirts, so you never can tell. Anyways, we'll try to get the update when we get some more plants in the ground. If you have any comments, questions, please list them below. And until next time, thank you for watching.